I'm going to start a new project here with the work order for a one-way left overdrape with black outlining. And before I cut any fabric or start this project, I want to make sure I have the right fabric with the right work order. So I'm going to look at the fabric on the work order, pattern and color, solid model amethyst for 26 yards. And then on this work order on the packing slip that came with the fabric, we have solid model amethyst, so that's correct. And they have sent 26 yards, but here it says 22 plus 4. So I might be looking at a bolt of fabric that has 26 yards on it, but possibly in 2 pieces. And it might be the 4 yards on the inside because it looks like there's a break in the roll, a gap in the fabric rolled up. So I wouldn't cut any fabric before measuring the whole bolt anyway, but especially in this case when they're showing a possible 2-piece bolt, I'm going to have to work out the cuts to make sure I have enough fabric. And I know I need 8 cuts of lining, and I haven't filled it out down here, but I'm going to need 8 cuts of this fabric to make this drapery. So I'll do the math and start unrolling this bolt and measuring the cuts before I cut it, just to make sure there's enough. And if there's not, then we'll go to plan B, which could possibly be turning a single header rather than a double header, or making a smaller hem. And the good thing is there's no repeat on this fabric, so working around pieces is easier in this situation than if it was a pattern. So let's start unrolling and see what we have. I'm going to start unrolling this fabric and check for flaws while I measure 8 cuts at 113 inches. Looks like we have 2 separate pieces on this roll, just as I suspected. The label said 26 yards, but in parentheses it said 22 plus 4. So here's my 4-yard piece, which will be plenty for one of my cuts. And then I'll have to get the other 7 out of the other roll. So I'll just mark that one and then start measuring the rest of the roll for the 7 cuts. Really pretty fabric. It's got a natural kind of a flubbing going on here and there, as long as there's no holes. Bottom pieces getting in the way. So I have 8 pins over here at the end where I want to mark each cut, and then I don't lose track of how many pieces I've already measured. Once I'm left with no pins, then I know I have all the cuts I need. Now that I've made my first cut of this really pretty amethyst mottled linen, I'm going to cut a little piece of it as a swatch for the work order. It's a great reference so that as I'm working on this and other work orders at the same time, I know by quick glance that this is the work order for this drapery. And then for future reference, if I need to refer back, I have a little swatch for color reference in case we ever need to order more or remember what this project was. Just by having that little sample, it really helps with the record keeping. So now I'll keep cutting the rest of the 8 cuts. This is just the top of the first cut.